Oh, hi guys. It's me, Amy Latinsky. Don't you recognize me? Oh, wait, what? Oh, I'm still wearing my mask. Let me take that off a second. Hi, now do you recognize me? Yeah, it's a lot easier to recognize me when I'm not wearing my mask, but a lot of us are wearing masks these days because, well, we want to keep ourselves and others healthy. This is one of my favorite masks. I have a few because I've been making them. I like it because it's cheerful and I love sunflowers. And you probably have masks you like too. Today for our art project, we're going to work on making a mask that is an artistic representation of ourselves. So I'm excited to share this project with you. I'll give you a little sneak peek. First of all, here's one that I made. And there's a surprise on the inside. You can see my smile, and you can see some words that are meaningful to me. Here's one my daughter made, Lizzie. And here you can see the same thing, some words that are meaningful to her. So it's a really fun art project. I can't wait to share it with you. Actually, I did not come up with this mask design. Cassie Stephen came up with it. She's an art teacher in Nashville, Tennessee. So look for the link for Cassie's project, and you can watch that to learn the step-by-step on how to make it. But I'm going to introduce to you right now the project, but I also want to teach you some art terms that we're going to use when we study this particular piece of art. And it's something we're going to do all throughout this year because the elements of art and the principles of design are just key terms that we need to understand in order to be able to talk about our art and appreciate all the parts that come together to make a piece of art. In this particular project, we're going to look at the element of art, which is called shape. Now, you guys are very familiar with shape, so this should be a pretty straightforward thing for you, but I did include another video on the topic of shape for you to learn a little bit more about the element of shape in art. But we're going to study a little bit how shapes show up in other kinds of art, and I thought it would be fun to look at masks, other kinds of masks. Okay, so this particular mask is from the Kuba peoples from the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Africa. This mask is pretty old. It's from the 1800s to the early 1900s, and this was designed to be worn by a woman. It probably had some form of ceremonial purpose, and what I want to draw your attention to though right now is that there are shapes in this mask. So let's use my little spotlight tool here, and we can take a look at a couple of them. Right here, first of all, I want you to pay attention. Do you see any shapes in here? First, I want to say there's different kinds of shapes. There's geometric shapes, there's organic shapes, and geometric shapes are the ones you're probably most familiar with. Those are the ones you talk about in math class, like the circle and the square, things like that. So here, do you see any geometric kinds of shapes? I do. What do you see? I see triangles. I see actually black and white triangles that are alternating. See, there's one that's upside down and straight, right side up and upside down. They alternate that way. That's really interesting. And there's a great contrast between that black and white. There's also this curve that goes up and down like a zigzag, which is actually, like the top of a triangle itself. And in fact, it's like an eyebrow, going up and down. Other shapes I see here, I see the eyes are kind of in an oval shape that's pointed on the ends. Here we have another one right here. The nose looks like it's more of a triangle too. And the lips look a lot like the eyes, that same kind of shape there. There's some organic shapes, which are the non-geometric shapes. They're basically just everything else. It's things that you'd see more in nature that don't really conform to any particular rules, such as this particular shells. They do sort of look like an oval, but they're a bit more irregular. This hat in particular, it doesn't have a specific shape other than it's kind of rounded on the top of the head. But I have another fun example for you to see. See if it looks familiar to you at all. Recognize that mask? Wait, you didn't realize that the Seattle Seahawks logo was a mask? Well, it is. It was based on a Native American mask from the, I'm not going to get this right, the Wakwau nations. And it's a very long name. You can try to pronounce it yourself right there. That's a Pacific Northwest tribe. They use this mask in dances, and it's a special transformation mask, and I will show you why that is special in a moment. But first, let's look at it up closely. It's a very colorful mask in real life here. It's got some geometric shapes. I see this circle here. Now, this is an interesting shape. This is more of a traditional Native American ovoid shape, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Ovoid shapes, even the one that more like the one that's on the outside of the eye socket here. It's like an oval that's got rounded edges like this. These are going to come up again. Here, we have another kind of Native American distinctive shape, and it's called a U shape. If you turn it on the side, you can see that U a bit. Keep that in mind because we're going to see some more of those when we see what makes this mask so transformative is that it opens up. Did you know that the Seahawks mask opens up? What a surprise. So what starts out as a bird, then a supernatural bird opens up and transforms into a human being. And inside you'll see some more of these interesting Native American geometric shapes. Right here in particular is another one of those ovoid ones. And this is a very classic one because it's layered. We've got a red one, and then we got a black one, and then we got a brown one, and then another black one on the inside. And I think they kind of look like sushi personally. This is one of the ways I recognize them. It looks like a sushi roll to me. It's not a sushi roll, but it's a Native American ovoid shape. And there's another one repeated over here. Here we have like a sun shape. I believe this is the symbol for a sun actually in the local Native American artwork. But the petals, you know, it's a repeated shape, but the petals themselves don't necessarily have any particular shape. It's more of an organic shape, I think. And the eyes, got another circle in the center. Some more of the U shapes here. This is an upside down U shape repeated. You can see some more U shapes here as well. So artists use different shapes in repetition, in layering with each other to compose an artwork. And so when you do your own artwork, I want you to be thinking about for your mask what kind of shapes you use. And when Cassie walks you through it, you can pay attention how the eyes are going to use a kind of oval shape as well, and that's going to be repeated and layered just like this Native American shape has an oval shape here, or a piece has an oval shape that's repeated and layered. And it's not going to be quite the ovoid shape, but it will be like a half oval on the eyes, and that's one component of this particular mask. The mask itself has a shape of a kind of an oval that goes around your face, the head like an oval as well. So lots of ovals, oval shapes, ovals upon ovals upon ovals in this artwork. And think about the repetition of shapes, and also think about using proportion. Proportion is the relative size things are to each other. So when you create one eye, make sure you consider that the other eye is going to be in proportion to that. Yes, they're both ovals, or half ovals, I should say, that one will not be significantly smaller than the other, that they're going to be in proportion to each other. Unless you happen to have one eye that's significantly smaller than the other, I suppose, then you might want to represent it that way. But same thing with your ears. There's going to be proportion in your ears. And when you choose to put the top of your head to be one size and the bottom of your head to be another size, that's going to be another issue of proportion. You're going to want to have those proportionally matched so that you don't appear to have an extra large top of your head with a smaller bottom of your head, so that you look like you're disproportionately put together in your mask. And I want you to pay attention to these shapes, and then I would love to hear about how you decorate your mask when you share your video. What shapes did you choose, and how did you decorate it? What sort of symbols did you want to include on your mask to talk about yourself and represent yourself, and what sort of words? So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you produce